Hello there, welcome back. It has been a short bit of a while, but we've taken a break to brush up on our skills, do some bit of studying over the weekend so that we can come back and hit these final projects, the information security and quality assurance projects, with all we've got. And here we are, and we're going to be working on the Metric-Imperial converter. That is what our first project is going to be, that we're going to be working on today. I'm not sure how far we'll get. We might be able to do two. Yeah, it really just depends on how far we get and what we end up doing. But let's see. So we need to build a full stack JavaScript app that is functionally similar to this. It has to look similar to this. Looks amazing. I love it. Wow. It's an amazing app. Right. Okay. I don't know how we're supposed to make the app functionally similar when they this is all there is. Oh dear. There's nothing here. That's a great start. Looks like they're using React, maybe? Most logic will be done in controller's convert handler, but do complete routes API. You will add any security features to server.js. You will create all of the functional unit tests in test2 functional tests and tests1 unit tests. Okay, so I think we're just going to clone this. Because yeah, there's literally nothing here. We can't even see it. Huh. Let's Alex, hey, how are you doing? Maybe we could just clone this and then see what is there. That's probably going to be the best bet. Because like I have no idea what it's supposed to functionally similar look like if, you know, we don't even have the example of what it needs to look like. So let's save this over here. Get the boilerplate out of the way. Cool, and then we're just going to add this folder into VS. Oops. Set the name to... Let's just go look at one of the previous projects that we had. Just fill this out a bit. I guess we can do it based on this one. Let me just compare it to what we had here. So FCC, let's call it FCC and then the name of the project, which is Metric-Imperial converter. So Metric-Imperial converter. And then we need the author line. The version is just going to be version 1. What am I about? Just going to copy this. Part of free code camps. Just this part. There we go. And then we have kind of our own boilerplate for the next few projects. Server.js, Node, Server.js. Dependencies, we're going to update all of these to the latest versions. Engines, we're going to be using version 10 of Node. Repository, we don't have one, so I'm going to just remove that. Hyperdev doesn't exist, and then obviously the license, and that should be it. Cool. Cool. So we have Express 417.1 course at 285, body parser at 119, chai at 420, MongoDB at 332. So that's quite a big update. Chai HTTP at 430. Mocha is at 6.2.1. Geez, that's like a massive update. Zombie, so the headless browser for the testing, 6.14. And then Helmet is at 3.21.1. So that should be all the latest stuff. Oof, what did I just do now? We also should probably add our dev dependencies. Like that. And then we're going to want to copy ESLint and Prettier and stick that in there. And then let's run npm. Oops, we're in the wrong place now. Open in terminal, npm install. This should install the latest packages for us. And let's see if we can't find... Okay, wait, let's first have this install and set up and then see if there's something that we can see, because I'd like to see what a example of it would look like. Well, actually no, we kind of need an example to begin with, don't we? see if this person has something. Because like the official one is literally just a listing directory. Okay, there we go. That's a bit better, huh? So welcome to Metric-Imperial converter. Please insert a numeric value. Okay, so if you do like 2 kilometers. Okay, so it's metric to imperial. What if you want to go the other way around? What if you want to go imperial to metric? Or was that the requirement? Metric imperial. Okay, so what we're going to do is if we have enough time, we're going to allow the option to switch, you know, directions. Either metric to imperial or imperial to metric. Because it just makes sense, right? Why would you just have the one? What if you... Wait. Actually, no. I don't think it's that. If I did 2 miles... Never mind, I'm just being silly. That should put... Yeah, okay. It already does it both ways. I think just the name. Because I was just about... Hold on. So that's already done. So that's essentially all it does. Take the SI values and convert them. And maybe we can do like live typing, so as you type, it will give you the answer below without you hitting the button, as a like cool user experience maybe. So that's something to consider if we have enough time. These are the user stories. I don't know why we can't see the user stories. And why it's not part of that. Like, there's the user stories here. You see that? Yet, we don't have the user stories here. So we're going to keep this link open, so we can see what the user stories are. Here's a passing prototype build. There's a boilerplate. There's nothing here. Okay. I wonder if this is the same thing as the local version that we have. Because if it is, then we have everything we need. We can just update it as we go. So let's remix to edit. Because then it's already on glitch and we don't have to manually like upload all the files. And then let's rename it to FCC. Oh wait, no, it's DMN Imperial converter, is it? Jesus, make up your mind. There we go, and there's the user stories and everything. Wait, so it's basically an API again? Hmm. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is updating our package.json. And then let's just hope everything else will be fine. Cool. So we can close that now. And am I going to test locally first and then just move everything afterwards? Okay, so we can close that. We can keep that open in case we need it. And we should have everything we need in here. So we can begin. The requirements are as following. I will help prevent the client from trying to guess sniff the MIME type. I'll prevent cross-site scripting, XSS attacks. So that's something we can deal with Helmet, because we've worked on that before. Just update these real quick. Cool. So there's the testing apps API routes, routing for API. API routes equal to require routes API.js. 404 not found middleware, cool. So they've pretty much set up a few basics already for us. Let's update server with Epsilon. I remember seeing something about where we need to work on things. I think it was in the README. Set node env to test without quotes. Most logic will need to be done in controllers, convert handler.js, but do complete routes API.js. Cool. You will add any security features to server.js. Okay, so that's where we're going to do the helmet stuff. You'll create all of the functional unit tests in tests, 2 functional tests, and tests 1 unit test. Okay. So we're going to need helmet. So the XSS filter, as well as, I mean, we could just use app.use helmet in general, like the entire thing, and not have to individually pick things, because by default, some of them are included. DNS prefetch frame guard, no sniff, and XSS filter. So we can literally just use app.use helmet. That will save us a lot of time. So let's do it as soon as possible, right here. We need to also require helmet. Okay. Okay, so now we have helmet. I don't even have to specify what I'm doing. It should be obvious. Aptitude helmet. So now that should pass those initial tests. We are also going to have to get our tester out, which is this one. And we'll test as we go. So we should be able to pass 1 and 2 only. We're working on Metric-Imperial converter. See how that goes. Okay, that fails and that fails. I have a feeling it's because of XSS. So we're gonna have to allow course. Course is set up there though. Apt.use course, origin. That whitelists it. Let me have a look at something quick. I think course was set up in another one. Was it in... Wasn't in config. I think it was in testing. Somewhere. It was this. See, like, this is timing out. Like, there was a cookie. I want to make sure that's not that test that's giving an issue. Let's have a look real quick. Yeah, it gets a refer, so it's not set up. Wait, did we update server? Oh my god, this is gonna be really annoying, because we're so used to working locally. We forgot to update server with app.use helmet. Okay. At least we saw that. So this should pass. Yeah, there you go. And that should pass. There we go. Cool. Cool. So we're passing the first two tests. I can get API convert with a single query containing a number and an accepted unit and have it converted. So that's going to be the logic that we don't have yet. And they said that most of the logic will be done in the controller's convert handler. Complete the handler logic below. Okay, let's just update all of these to arrow functions. Oops. Why are you complaining? Input is defined but never used. Can I refactor? Thank you. Refactor. Nope. Come on. Ah. Refactor. Come on! Convert to arrow function. Convert to arrow function. Convert to arrow function. Cool. So now they're all arrow functions. We're gonna have to figure out. Wait, are these all closures? Yeah, they are. They're all part of convert handler. Great. This.get return unit, this.get unit, this.spell out unit, this.convert, gallon to litre, oops. So gallon to liters is 3.78541, pounds to kilograms 0.4, yeah. Miles to kilograms, so are we only doing gallons to liters, pounds to kilograms, and miles to kilometers? Okay, let's start somewhere small. How do we know what the accepted number is? Split the input by looking for the index of the first character. Split the input by looking for the index of the first character, but the first character would be a number, because it should be like, you know, 3 or whatever, and you still got the, you can even do fractions, which would be valid. So that would make sense. Split the input by looking for the index of the first character. Unless they mean first word letter. So anything after the numbers. So maybe a regex? Could that work? I think a regex would be a good option here. And those are the actual formula values. So let's check the roots out as well, how they set this up. That's the API. We're not going to do the testing, that's their testing. The API, we need to respond with JSON clearly. Complete the API routing below. Not going to use strict. Expect equal to require chai. Convert handler equal to require controllers convert handler. Module.exports equal to function. So we're going to convert this into an arrow function. I actually don't know. This should work in theory, because I just realized now arrow functions are going to have an issue with this in an arrow function. We're going to have to just remember that. Oh, is that a... It is. So convert handler equal to new convert handler. App.root API convert.get is a function. Input equal to request.query. Okay. init num equal to convert handler dot get num input. What is get num? So you're passing in input. So that's to get the number. So this is where we're gonna have our regex, I guess, because I was gonna go the regex route, unless there's a better way, but I don't think there will be. Regex should be pure and simple. Okay, so all we want to do is so we want a unit, right? We want a unit number. Yeah, so anything that's a number. So our examples would need to match these unit numbers. Let's stick this in. And we want to make sure that these match. Any numbers. So there. But what about the dots? Those matter. So what if we have a capture group there? Should I escape it maybe? What if you have a full stop? This is a test. And we haven't thought about fractions. Like, how would you know it's a fraction? Because, yeah, that's the other thing now I gotta think of. Because you can do like, I can use fractions, decimals or both in my parameter. So we need to think about that as well. A half would be 0.5. And how the hell would we handle fractions? Because getting the number is simple enough, but then fractions need to be dealt with as well. And it's easy enough to detect the fraction. So let's say it has to start with a number. Of one or more, right? And then matches any character. Or no, then it has to match a dot, right? Which is optional. So we should probably make that optional. Plus, and then a digit, which can be 0 or more. So I think that should work. So then if I have this is a test, it shouldn't pick that up. But if I put a 1 there, it will pick that up, and 1.45, whatever. So it'll pick up numbers in that sense. Obviously, I haven't tested this extensively, so I wouldn't know what it will and won't pick up, but at least in these tests, it will try to find a digit. There needs to be at least one digit. There can be more, it can be like 100 and 1,000 or whatever. And then we need to see if there is a dot, and if there is one, no, if there is a dot, and it's optional. So it can be there or not, it doesn't matter. But if it is there, that'll be part of the match. And then there has to be, well, there doesn't have to be. Then we continue on with another digit, and there can be 0 or more of those. So if you were to add another dot here, it wouldn't form part of it because, you know, that's not how, what am I trying to say? That is not how decimals work. You know, you won't have 3.75841 point something else. It just doesn't work that way. So at least when it comes to decimals, this will work. We'll be able to extract them. And then we need another one which will extract the characters that are directly after this, but no spaces. So that would be, so let's copy this. That's going to be our first regex. I'm going to stick this over here. That's probably going to go into a helper function. Then we need one which is basically going to, we need a positive look ahead. There has to be a number, right? So if there's a number, there needs to be at least one. And then we're looking for a, not a word boundary, not white space, a word. Okay, that's going to also match alphanumerics. That's not going to help us. Is it like this again? Is it like this? Matches a character in the range A to Z. Case sensitive. And we need to make sure that there's a white space that's covered, which can be 0 or more white spaces. Because it's going to be a number, then a white space, which they may or may not be, and then the A to Zs. Which is strange why it's not picking it up now. So is any digit white space is it because of the positive? Yeah, it was. Positive look ahead matches a group after the main expression without including it in the result. Let's see if I can stick this in. There you go. Okay, so that won't care for the white spaces. What if it's A to Z only? Okay, so we need case and sense. Was it like this or like this or something? No, it's not. A to Z or... Can't remember. Was it like that? Yeah, I think it was this. So A to Z, 65 to 122. Otherwise it would just be between 97 to 122. Okay, so that should be it. So now we should have L's. We should have something like kg. Cool. So that should be the unit type. So it has to start with a digit. Oh, but that's why I'm saying 0 or more of the preceding. No, it has to be 1 or more of the preceding. And I think it might be because of that white space now. Which is weird, because if I do 1 or more of the preceding token, which is any digit character, 1 or more, which we have, matches any white space. So if I put a space there, that should have matched. Huh. It has to be positive look ahead. I think I know what the issue is. So a digit like that, there must be at least one. There can be a white space, but that's optional. And then A to Z, any characters in the set, 0 or more. Is it literally wanting me to do something like this? It is. But we don't want the white space characters. Or do we? We don't want to include the digits in the match. That was the thing. We only want the A to Z. So if I don't have the positive look ahead, that's the thing, that should have worked in our matches a group after the main expression. Let's have a look at that. Quantifiers? No, it was not quantifier, it was the look around, positive look ahead. Matches a group after the main expression without including it in the results. So Oh, according to this then it should be simply A to Z. I think I've always got them wrong. So if I do A to Z, which would be the words, only if there was a digit, one or more digits, and there can potentially be a space. But then why didn't it match? Now if we have it this way, it matches the numbers perfectly, which is strange. But it always starts with it. What if you had... Oh, it doesn't matter if it starts with it or anything. You would still have... So you need a px, as long as it ends with a px afterwards. That's why we needed it before. Because theirs is, it ends with a px. Ours needs to be, it... Interesting. So we switched the order around. So in our case, to get the number, I could get it in the second match. So what we want exists in the second part. Which is A to Z, at least one or more. But only if there's a number. So these DDDs work only because there's a number afterwards. And if we changed it to put it the other way around, then that doesn't work. Huh, so that works. But we need to not include... We could either make it a non-capturing group, because right now, let's see, what do we have? We only want the PX part, right? So non-capturing group would be like... Wait, what was the non-capturing group again? Alright. Like so. And then we stick this into a group. And there we go. We get a PXD. And in this case, we would have got the L in leader. If we didn't add it in a non-capturing group, we would have had 2L. So that is one option, is to capture the entire thing, but then have it in a non-capturing group. The unit part. Because then I don't think we need the positive look ahead. And we also need to take into account spaces. 0 or more spaces. And we also need to take into account that it can be actually this is what the expression should be. Like so. So it's a digit, at least one, and then the optional decimal places, and then if there are any white spaces. What if we had a white space there? That would... no, that wouldn't break. So you can have the white spaces anyway. Oh, that would break. So that needs to be one or more. Then there can be a white space. Like so. For whatever reason. If you decided to, you know, space it out, cool. We then store, just get the kilometer from it. And then if you added like a number afterwards, you would only still get kilometer. Perfect. So that should then be the regex that will grab the unit out of it. I'm happy enough with that. It seems to work. Kilometers, kilograms, liters. So that's going to be the regex for that. And then the regex to get the number seems pretty straightforward. Now I'm actually wondering if we shouldn't have a single regex. Let me copy this, because we could have group 1 be the value and group 2 be the unit. So let's see, in this case 3.78541 would be the unit, the value, and that's the unit right there. 1 gallon, 1 would be the value, and there's the unit. We just need to strip, I think we could just run a trim on this, because I don't think I want to do that in the regex itself. We could just run trim on the value that we get back from the regex. Unless we don't capture the white spaces. Should we just put that in a non-capturing group? Just everywhere we have white spaces? Like so. Because where was it that was capturing the white space? Was here by liters. I don't think we can do that because it's part of the capturing group. I mean, we can only try. Yeah, it's still capturing it. No, it's fine. We'll just run trim afterwards, to be honest. Simple enough. Cool. So we have one regex. We do have an issue here, though. Because this is the value, right? But it only grabs 4 out of it. And why is that? Because there's a 1, right? There has to be at least 1. Then there can be a space, but there can up to be 0 or more. And then a dot, which there is. Oh, we didn't take into account... the fact that there can be a space after the dot. Before I butcher this further, I want to try something else out. Instead of having them like this, can we have this in a capture group? Not a capture group. Yeah, a capture group. Because then it has to be a digit. 1 or more. There can be a dot. There can be a space. There, so you have 160934, and if we trimmed all of that, our trim's only going to be on the ends. But then that will give us what we need. Any digits, any... let's escape that maybe. And then any white spaces. So then we get the full unit value. But then we have to just make sure we trim for every individual item that we get. So we might have to convert it to an array, then trim every value from that array value, and then restore it as a single unit number. That's like worst case, edge case. Like, it's nice to just prepare for that, you know? But, and it's simpler. Do I need the plus there? Yeah, I did. Do I need the plus there? That's the question. Do I? I don't. Cool. So, in theory, that should be it. We should be good. So, a single regex. Cool. Trying to think what I want to name it now. Because what are we grabbing? We're grabbing the value and the unit. . I mean, I could just call it regex, but we can rename it later on. Unnecessary escape character for the dot. Okay. So now we have the regex. So what I want to do then is, on the API, when you do API convert, request.query, I want to know what that is. The query, request.query. Oh no, it's request.query.input. So let's do it here. The input equal to input, right? Because I want to know what we're inputting. So that's the first thing for me. So let's move this to the API. Okay, so we'll log that, and then, well, that's all I wanted to see for now. Then here we have logs, and then I want to know what happens if we put 3.1 mi in. The input 3.1 mi, perfect. So we can access that. Then we're calling init num equal to convert handler dot get num. So I want to know what all these values are before we continue. The values, and then we're gonna have init num, right? Why don't we just actually do this in a, do it this way. I believe I actually haven't thought about that when I log. Just do a string literal. We haven't actually ever done that. The values, because then I can go new line. What are you complaining about? Init num would be something like init num, right? What is init num again? Init num is this.convert init num. Wait, what the hell? Init num equal to, oh, convert handler dot get num. Okay. So let's change this to get num, so I know which function is init num, and then we're gonna have get unit, which is gonna be init unit. Cool. So those are two we care about now. We should obviously get nothing right now because, well, we haven't done anything. So there we go. Undefined, undefined. Great. Then in convert handler, get num is gonna be, let's think about this. Is it gonna be match? I think it might be match. Would it be match? No, it would be, would it be test? In the regex. Test was for, so that's for a boolean. Now I just want to see match. Match was... searches a string for a match against a regular expression and returns the matches as an array object. Yes, that's what we want. So the string.match and then our regex. So input dot match. So input as a string. We might have to toString it, I'm not sure. Input dot match val regex, right? And then return the result. Let's give that a try. Oh, there you go. So get num 3.1 mi. Perfect. I want to also log this. The result get num is result. I want to log it in each step, and then we also needed to apply it to get the index, the capture group. Would that have just worked off the bat as an array? No, it's still a single value. 3.1 mi wasn't supposed to match the whole... 3.1 mi, the first group is supposed to be 3.1, so why is it? So I think because we didn't specify an index, I think it might literally just be in index. The result get num index 0, index 1, and index 2. So we're going to do result 0, result 1, and result 2. And the second one should be null. No, the second one should be undefined. Let's see what we get. The result index 0 is 3.1. Oh, so it's undefined, undefined. So it's seeing it as a whole group. That's strange. Unless I was supposed to use execute input dot, but then it's supposed to be the other way around. So value regex dot execute on input. I think I have to use execute for that to work. I have a job for you. Code me a functional girlfriend. Easy. Done. Does it need to respond to you? Okay, let's see if execute was the one. Okay, so there it is. 3.1. 3. Yes, it was execute. Because look, the first one is 3.1. Then it's 3.1 mi is the first one. Second one is 3.1. Third one is just mi. That was the one. Execute. But wait, where's 0, 1, and 2? There it is. Yes, it is that. Yes, look. The result. Get num. The first index is always the entire thing. Second one is the first capture group. Third one is the second capture group. So there it is. 3.1 mi, 3.1, and mi. Beautiful. That's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed. I have a bad habit of stop working when I learn something new or when I fix one bug. Why? Do you feel accomplished? So this is the regex we need. Is index 2 of the returned array. There we go. First group, the value, is index 1 of the returned array. Second group, the unit, is index 2 of the returned array. Beautiful. Did I feel more than fulfilled? Even if it's something small, I'm like blown away. But that's a good thing. You should be proud of the things you do. Man, I wish I could name this thing something better. It's basically a regex that I thought this was really cool. I thought about it for a while. So what I need to do is like grab the unit values and the value itself, right? So here you got 3.78541 liters, right? But it's got spaces, it's got stuff, it's got a decimal point. So what I managed to do, you'll check this output value, is the entire match is the entire value, right? 3.78541 space L. And in group 1 will just be the value, and in group 2 will be the unit. So that's what I've managed to achieve now. And then using execute, we can access the array values. But I don't know, the name just sounds awful. Val regex, value regex. I mean, that's technically what it is. It's a regex that contains the entire value that you can access, unless we have a better name for it. Ah, screw it, whatever. The name doesn't really matter. You can always change the name later. So the result is val regex.execute on input. And what is this? To get the number, we need to return... So to get the number, you need to return val regex.execute. Can I do like literally 1 directly on it? Like literally just 1. I want to see if this will work. Might not work, but we'll see. Okay, 3.1. What happens? Get num is 3.1. Yes, that actually worked. But me being the type of person that I am, always wants to, you know, do weird things like this. So what happens if someone enters this, which is valid, by the way? 1 point, all these spaces. We need to take that into account. So currently, as things stand, we're gonna literally get 0.934. We didn't even get the entire value. Also, actually, why did we only get 0.934? When it was supposed to be 1 capturing group. Okay, so let's log that. I want to know why that happened. Oh, because, okay. I think we need to like sanitize it first before we can do anything else. So let's try that again. So that should give me the full value. There it is, yeah. 160934. Okay, if that's true, Let me see what happens when I do this. We get 160934. Oh. Okay, but now we need to remove all of those. Wait, why is it working now? I could have sworn it wasn't working. It gave us like weird stuff. Oh, that was the other one I remember. When you use execute, you need to reset the index. Otherwise it errors out. You need to reset the index of execute because it somehow remembers the place. JavaScript exec reset index. If you don't do that, did you see when I continued now? Like I hit convert and everything's fine, but then we go again and you're gonna get an error. And the reason for that is it remembers the index in memory. So you have to constantly reset the index. That's like a big thing to remember. And I only remember it because it happened to me before. So to reset it manually, set the last index property. This could be very useful. You can start the evaluation at any point in the string, if desired, or if in a loop, you can stop it after the desired number of matches. So then all we need to do is, after we've done that, we need to set, I think it's result, yeah, result.last index equal to 0. Or is it reg? Reg.execute on the string. Oh no, okay, so it's actually the val regex then. Yeah. I'm learning physics and was blown away when I realized why acceleration has a time squared when it's meters, right? Meters divided by second to the power of 2. Are you going to explain it? Okay, so that should not give us an error each time. So we do it the first time, we're good. We do it the second time, we're good. There we go. We do it the third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, keep going. We don't get errors. Every time it's consistent. Sweet! Now we need to, I think we have to split it. So let us split result. So let's do log result.split. And let's see what happens when I do that. That should give me an array of every single value from result. There it is. So one dot, wait, I needed an actual console log because I need to see what the values are. Is this gonna work? Can I see it in here? No, I won't. I'll see it in this console. Damn it. I want to see if those are actual... Is that index 1? Is that index 2? Is that index 3? Okay, you know what we can do? We can iterate through it. What if we do this? Result equal to result dot split, right? And now it's an array. Let result, and then result dot for each. What do we call this? What is it that we're splitting? Like word, character, just character. Then log, log the character. I just want to see that we are actually splitting what I think we're splitting, because obviously the glitch console is a bit different to your actual console. Is that it? 160934? No. We do console.log the character, but then also create a new line after you're done. So I can actually see if it's a new line. Let's go. No, what the? That's not an array. I realize acceleration is velocity over time and velocity is displacement. And it's velocity over time, so wow, okay. And what are you going to do with that information? Am I going to get a new physics engine from you? I think I know what's going on. Console log the character, right? And then let's log the index, and then the index that we're currently on. I think it's only literally going through one time as an entire string. I think we have to split by the spaces. What if there's multiple spaces though, you know what I mean? Yeah, it only did it once. So we split, wait. There, split by everything. Forgot about that, my bad. It's been a while since we worked in this. We've mainly been doing front-end stuff. There you go. So we got a 1. There you go. So 1 dot space 6 space 0 space 9 space 3. So if I added like 3 spaces after 0, we should actually see 3 spaces. There it is. 1, 2, 3 spaces. Cool. So the point of this was, if it's blank. Wait, can we trim it? No, because trim doesn't. Yeah, we trim it first, and then we wanna filter. So trim it and then filter it. I wonder what trim will do to a space though. Like if it's a literal space. Or we can just do an if. There's an empty It's just something I'm learning in class because I'm forced to. Do you enjoy it though? It's something new. I wonder if we shouldn't just use map and filter. Oh, for each works though. We still need to do something with this. That's the thing. So we can either mutate directly or we can not mutate, but in this case we might as well mutate because we want just the final value. So how can we do that? If result is the result value but with all the spaces, then it's a single string with all the spaces. Then you split it by every character. So now it becomes an array at this point. Then result for each. You're doing something, but you're not saving it anyway. We could do like temp array. Const array equal to result.forEach. Or we could just push to the array, couldn't we? And have like array equal to that, right? And then array.push the character. Except we need some logic. So first we trim the character. But that only works on a string, doesn't it? Removes the leading and trailing white space and line terminator characters from a string. It should be a string anyway, because split is a string method. So it'll take the value, convert it to a string. We should be dealing with the string, so we don't have to worry. Then we just trim. And now I think we could just do it like this. Do we already have value? Do we have value? It is defined. No, it's not. Okay, value equal to character.trim. And then if value array.push array.push value. Okay, and then when we're finally done with all this, we can log the cleaned array, which is array. Then we should get, there you go, we only have one, the dot, the 6, the 0, the 9, the 3, the 4. We don't have spaces, we don't have literally anything else. And then we need to obviously join it afterwards. The cleaned array joined, and then all you'll do is array.join by every character. So then we should end up with a single value, which is 1.60934, despite the fact that it was initially 1. Space 6 space 0 space 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 9 space 3 space 4. We get a clean value. So essentially what we did is we cleaned it up. No matter which way that you put it in, we're going to get the cleaned up value, which is great, especially for calculations, because you know we need a cleaned up value in any event, like sanitization and all that. So I'm happy with that. So all we need to do is return the joined value, which is return I mean, we could do return, no, not return, result equal to array dot join, like so, and then return the result, like so. Final result, let's just make sure that it is what we expect it to be. Final result is beautiful. There we go. Should probably document what I was doing here. Okay, so first thing we're doing is get a list of all matches from the regex. Okay, then reset the index, the was it like a search index? Reset the index of the regex to the start to prevent issues. Then no, it's actually not all. Get a list of, no, it's not even get a list. Get the get the input value only, which is at index 1, split the input value. Trim any white space characters. You know what I just realized? Value equal to character.trim. Trim any white space characters from each array item. If the value, if there is a value, add it to the array. Add it to the new array. Set the final result value to the array. Set the final result value to the array, but it's joined because we're joining the array. By every character. Set the final result value to the joined value of the array. Return the final value. There we go. I've explained what I'm doing. Cool. There it is. So that works for that beautifully. And then to get the unit, it's very straightforward. It is just val regex.execute 2, because 2 is the unit. Get the unit value only, which is at index 2. And I don't think we need a trim. Actually, we can trim if the space is before and after. Because if I do kilometer with a space there and a space there, where was it? Undefined now. Val regex. Did I copy this over? Probably didn't. There you go. There you go. So the response is... Wait, there's no space afterwards? Really? Does our regex not include the space? Let's say kilometer here. There's no spaces. Huh. Why? Oh, that gets added to group 1, it seems. All the white space goes to group 1. But group 2 doesn't get any. Which I guess that's cool. Yeah, because that's what we said, group 1 is going to do that. I just want to see if there's any gotchas. So numbers, there can be a dot which is optional, there can be spaces, and then one or more of that. And then finally A to Z, one or more of that. So it should never match white spaces. It should just have the A to Z. So in theory we don't need trim. I don't see a case where that would happen, so I'm not going to add it just for the sake of adding it. It shouldn't happen, so yeah, there we go. That's literally it. Get the unit value only, which is at index 2. Look how easy that was. Like, getting the number was like a complex thing of splitting it and trimming it and whatever. But then the getting the unit value is simple. Just index 2. And there we go. So we've got num, we've got unit. So now we can get the number and we can get the unit separately. That's great. What's the next thing? So we've done that successfully. I can convert gallons to liters and vice versa. Okay, so that is probably going to be the first thing that we need to do, but we also need to complete the rest of the tests. Get unit, we've done that. What is get return unit? What the hell is a get return unit? Spell out unit. What the hell is that? How are you supposed to spell out the unit? That doesn't make any sense. Get return unit. What do they mean by that? That makes no sense. Get return unit. Let's look at the API maybe. Init num, init unit, get num, get unit, convert, return unit, get return unit. I don't understand. Get the number, get the unit, convert them. That makes perfect sense. Get return unit. Maybe there's something in the thing. If my unit of measurement is invalid, returned will be invalid unit. Is it that? Get returned unit? If my number is invalid, returned with will invalid number. If both are invalid, return will be invalid number and unit. So it can't... Wait, could it be? Get returned unit. Spell out unit. Oh man. Now where's spell out unit used? Because I don't see it used anywhere. I literally don't see it used anywhere. See, this is why I don't like working with other people's code. Because you have to try and understand what they're trying to do. And in this case, it doesn't really make sense. Spell out unit. Like, that could mean so many things. Would we take like a word, like kg, and then return k and g as an array? Because that's like spelling it technically, right? So kg, kg. And it's also not used anyway. That's like the weird part. So we go to the API and nothing is calling it. So why does it exist? Huh. Let's look at the tests. I can convert. Okay, we're going to do that later when we actually get the conversion. If my unit of measurement is invalid, returned will be invalid unit. If my number is invalid, okay. If both, okay. Oh, there's a spell out unit. Huh, okay. And strings spelling out units in format. Oh, here's something. My return will consist of the init num, init unit. So that's the number by itself. That's a unit by itself. Return num. I'm wondering if... You know what I think it is? I think it makes sense now. I think the return number is what you converted it from to. So if it's gallons, was it gallons to liters? Then if you entered liters, that's going to be what you added in liters, but the return number is what it's going to be in gallons. I think that's what it is. And then the return unit is obviously the other unit, the opposite of it. And then a string spelling out units in format, I assume that would just be the entire thing. So like 1.5 gallons. It has to be that. Okay, so that makes sense. So get returned unit and but now we also need to know what the opposites are. We need to somehow link them. We also need to know what you entered. If it's a L. So we kind of need like a switch. I guess the switch statement could work. And where does this dot convert? What's the final value? To string. I think it's get string. Init num, init unit, return num, return unit. Because the final one is going to be get string. So get string should give us what we want. If my number is invalid, returned with will invalid number. Is there something on the official? Did we close it? Yeah, I think we did. It doesn't say where it needs to return from. So I'm assuming it's going to be the final step, which is get string. Because that's the final thing that gets called, get string. So let's stick the logic in here. So we need to know what the initialized unit is. Wait, what calls get string? Convert handler here, based on what init num, init unit, return num, return unit. So we need to check that if one of the init units exists in our list. So we need a switch statement. So switch. The key is going to be init unit, right? Case. What's the first one? Let's just test between L. But what if it's case sensitive? We could just all lowercase them, right? To lowercase. Can I do that? Init unit dot. Actually, I want to test this. So case L, right? And then let's just have a log. Literally just a log. This is a liter, right? I just realized something, the spelling difference. The US versus UK. Because the SI spelling is liter, the way that I spelt it. But the US will use probably liter like this, L-I-T-E-R. So we need to take that into account as well. But for time being, let's just test this. Get a console log if it matches that. Get string. That should trigger, because get string is being called. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Let's try that. Convert handler. And then we should see, if we put a L in there, if we put a L in there, we should see the message that we just added. This is a liter. Great. Now what I want to know is, if it's an uppercase L, how does 2case handle that? Is it case sensitive? Cannot read. Wait. What? Type error? Oh, we forgot to reset the index. We need to do it for the... I'm so glad we tested that. Whenever you use execute, you should always reset the index. Cool. Otherwise we get that error that we just got now. Okay, so we didn't get anything. I want to add to the default. Cannot identify the unit type there. So if we can't identify it, we're going to get that message. Cannot identify the unit type. Okay, because it is an uppercase L, which is valid. So what we're going to do is switch init unit, and then we're going to lowercase it. So no matter, can I do that? I wonder if I can do that inside of the switch statement variable. I should be able to, because then we're lowercasing it, and no matter which kind of format you enter it in, it's always going to be standard. So then, will it see the uppercase L as a lowercase? Yep, there we go. This is a liter. Perfect. Can I do multiple cases? We should be able to do case. I want to do liter, but I also want to do the so the US spelling of liter above there, and then the SI version. Actually, let's do SI first. So now it should be L, liter, or liter. Unknown word, liter. No, it's fine. It's fine. The Americans spell it this way. How do we just do this? Add to dictionary. There we go. So now we have 3 cases for liter. They're all the same. And they will all be a liter. Because I'm not just going to have it based on short form prefixes. It can either be L or the full typed out liter, you know. So that should be a liter. It is. What about liter like that? Some are uppercase, some are lowercase. That's also a liter. Cool. What about LIT, which should match nothing? Cannot identify the unit type. Perfect. Litae. This is a liter. Cool. So all of that's a liter. Perfect. Luckily, they only gave us 3. Well, actually 6 if you count, 3 times 2. Gallons, liters, pounds, kilograms, miles, and kilometers. So we're going to need to do the same. I don't think gallons are spelled differently. I know liter has a variation. I'm going to have to see now. So that's a liter. And then if you do something with the liter, cool. Wait, why do we have a switch again? Because yes, we can identify, but it's mainly supposed to be if it doesn't exist in the array. This is actually a bit dumb, doing a switch. I mean, it was okay to match it, but I just realized now we could just have an array. Valid units equal to an array, right? And then just have an array of, like, all of them. So, like, L, liter, liter, I have to do it for each individual one, don't I? L, liter, liter, what else? You know what I just realized? We can finally use my tool. We created a tool to alphabetize a group of items, right? Let me find it quick. It was in one of our projects. I just realized this would be a great time to use it now. Oh no, it's for extract hex color codes. Never mind. I thought it formats an array, but I forgot it needs to be a hex hex format. Never mind. Liter, liter, liter. So liter, 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 what is the short form of gallons? Just gal? Abbreviation is gal. So gal and gallon. So not G, because G would be grams. What else? Miles and MI and kilometers. And then obviously the scientific version of kilometer, because kilometer and kilometer, however you want to pronounce or say it, those are two different ones. They're the same thing though. And then km, of course. What else? There's kilograms. For kg. It can be kilogram with two m's. Whoa, learning something new today. So kilogram, and kg. It's often called a kilo. So can we also add kilo to it? 1 kilo as a valid term? Let's do that. What else? So we got the gallons, all the gallon types. We got all the liter types. We don't have the pounds. So the LBS, pounds or pound mass. What about the plural? Because we have kilogram and kilograms. Gallon and gallons. I might have to do that as well. Okay, so pound. Okay, so the symbol gal should never be pluralized according to the SI. So that means all short forms like al, gal, you won't get gals, you won't get ls. So the interesting one is LB. Was it LBS? The pound is just LB, but some people write it as LBS. That's like the confusing part. And I'm not sure how people would write it, because obviously I don't use LB, LBS. But I wouldn't write KGS. But maybe that's something I should add in just in case. Because I see that some people do have it as LBS. So LB and LBS are both valid. Now I'm wondering if I want to just add a function that just adds an S to the end of these, if it doesn't already exist, or if I just, you know, duplicate the array with the extra. I'm just going to add the extra, screw it. Pound and pounds, LB and LBS. Liter and liters. Gallon and gallons, miles. Would anyone say 2 MIS? Because that just sounds stupid. But maybe someone would. Yeah, I'm just gonna have it as MI, not MIS. What else? Kilometers. Unless we add, does it look similar? So does it start with, is there a match in the word? But that would be a regex thing. So it's either we have an array, because I think adding the extra s's is just like so much duplication. So I'm going to take the shortest form possible and just base it off of that. Okay, so do we have everything? We have gallons, all the gallons? Yes. We have all the liters? Yes. We have all the pounds? Yes. And all the kilograms? Yes. All the miles? We do. All the wait? Oh, that's kilometers, right? Kilograms and kilometers. Yes, we do. Okay, cool. So we have everything. Okay, so here's our array. Valid units equal to We're gonna have to quote these. Is there a quick way that I can do that? Oops. Okay, so these are all the variations of the valid units. And then I'm just going to have a regex that's going to perform a match on the word. So if you entered miles, but I can find a match in mile, then it'll be valid. So here's the short form of gallon, gallon. I could technically just have gal and remove gallon, but I mean, you know, because it would match. And someone might misspell gallon, and maybe just have one L, like gallon. So I'm just thinking maybe remove that. And we don't want to... Here's the problem with the matching now of kilo, because if they just enter kilo, kilo is technically the short form. Well, wait, it's a short form for 1,000 measurement units of anything. So technically a kilo could be a kilogram or a kilometer, so we shouldn't have kilo. Because what does kilo default to? It's just 1,000th of something. I don't think it defaults to anything. Yeah, so that actually has to go. I don't know why I added that. We could do just like kilo G and kilo M. Should we do that? Just kilo G and then match both. I'm just worried if someone were to look at this code, would they understand what I was trying to do? Because I'm just going to use a regex match. Because if I have kilo G, you can notice the difference here. It would match on that, the kilogram. It will also match on this version of the spelling of kilogram. And even if someone misspells kilogram, we'll kind of assume, as long as it starts with kilo G, that that's what they're trying to go for. Instead of like locking them out or being like, you can't spell, can't find kilogram, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I'd rather be on the user side and just kind of guess that that's what they're trying to go for. So I think let's go with that route. So kilo G and kilo M. And then obviously have short form km, L for liters, LB for pounds. Liter, we only need one. But where does it change? It changes at the LIT. It's gonna look weird, I'm not gonna lie, but lit. If the word has lit, but then we also have to worry, do any of these other units have like km in it? Do any of them start with L? Yeah, there's L and LB, how will you know which one it is? That's why it comes first, I think. Because it's an array, so it's going to index it. So it's going to be first exact match of L. So how would this work? Let's say you entered LB, and the first thing it checks is L. Does L... In which order are we going to do it in? Does LB exist in L? No. But does L exist in LB? Yes. The main thing is, can we find this word in what they entered? Which is going to be true, and that's going to be an issue, because what if it was LB? It would just keep matching it to liter every time. This is tricky again. So we have gallon, kilogram, kilometer, kml, lb, liter, liter, mile, miles, and pound. Okay, so those are the valid units. Now what are we going to do with those? We can have a simple if. We can do valid units dot for each unit. If unit equal to init unit, then do something. Else, that's where we need to return. What's the requirement? If my unit of measurement is invalid, returned will be invalid unit. Else, we can just have this line actually. There, let's try that out. Hey man, how's it going? Christopherus, haven't seen you in a while. It's going good. Yeah, I'm checking out... I did a bit of regex to clean up... You probably remember this this section. But I was I was wondering, what if people just add spaces and stuff to their unit values? So I took care of that by using execute, because I remember how useful that is on a regex. So then I can have two capture groups, because my regex is pretty simple. It's just in a group there has to be a digit, there can be a full stop, or like just, you know, a decimal point, and then any spaces. There has to be at least one of those, and then A to Z, one or more. And then if I have a crazy value like this with so many spaces, the first group is going to be that entire value with all the spaces and everything, and the second value would just be the unit group. And then, yeah, in group 1, it's just the value, and then all I do is split the value and turn it into array, and so like split it to every character, and then I do a for each on that loop, and I just call trim on that character, because if it's a white space it will also get removed. And then at the end of the day, if it's a valid value, just add it to the array, and then finally just join it by every character, and then what we end up with is that. So that 1 point and all those spaces ends up being a 1.60934, a nice number to work with. And then there's the units as well. And what I'm trying to do now is just make sure that whatever was entered is a valid unit. In this case, litre. Oh, I need to lowercase this. So what we need to do here is if the unit that was entered dot to lowercase, we need to lowercase it, whoops, equal to the actual unit, do something else cannot identify the unit, just so we can test and see if we actually can identify what was entered. Convert it litre. Was it Tula unit? What was the unit that I got entered? The unit. Unit. Oh, it's init unit. What am I comparing to? Unit. My bad. It's init unit. I don't even need to console log that. That's why. Wait, no, it's not init unit. It is. Oh, never mind. It is unit. It's our unit. I'm lowercasing the wrong thing. Unit is from the for each loop. So the for each unit, which is these things, equal to the initialize unit to lowercase. There we go. And then we just hit that button and there we go. Liter is a valid unit. So it found it, and then the rest obviously it did nothing with. Cool. So it found liter in there. What if we say capital L? L is a valid unit. Great. What if it is the other spelling of liter, but like uppercase and lowercase? Liter is a valid unit. Cool. So in every sense, it's valid. Yeah, okay. So we got that logic working. There's going to be quite a few other things that we need to do, but I'm happy with that. We can get the units and we can get the value. How have you been otherwise, Christopher? It's been 2 months since I wrote my last code. I'm a noob again. Now again, I guess. Not at all. I'm sure if you like write a few things here and there, you'll pick up things fast enough. Even for me, like going through the regex stuff again, I was like, whoa, and like classes and stuff. It's been a while that I worked with them, but I mean, once you start, it's like you pick it up, and I'm doing way more advanced things that I used to. Okay, so those are the valid units. There was something I wanted to do with them. What was it though? Oh, I wanted to add an S to it. Because what if we did liters? Because someone might come through and literally be like, I want to add liters. And they're going to be told that liters is not valid, right? So what if we do equal to init unit dot to lowercase, or unit equal to init unit dot to lowercase. Actually, we should do this in a string literal. So we're just adding an S to it. It's probably a better way that I can do this, but I just wanted to test the theory of if this will work, if this will be a quick enough fix. Because then this should take care of them adding S anywhere for liters, gallons, miles, because some people might. So see if that picks up. Liters should have been to lowercase s. Oh, because it doesn't exist in there. None of them have an s, so we have to have unit. We have to do the exact same thing for unit as well. So do a string literal here and add a s there. Okay. So we're just basically adding s's. Quick and easy way, I guess. Otherwise I have to like write it out into the array, and that's just gonna be, it's just gonna look silly. So let's see if that picks up liters. Weird. No. So unit should be, so it should have been kilo, which, did I spell it wrong? Liter, L-I-T-E-R-S. So it should be L-I-T-E-R, that one, plus add an S to it. So that should have been liters. Okay, let's compare these two to just make sure I'm doing the right thing. The units would have been, let's have this in a string literal actually, the entire thing. So the unit is unit. Oh, I don't want to wrap it in the for each loop though. But we're going to have to just to see what the issue is. The init unit equal to init unit and the S. Let's just wrap it in there and see what I did wrong inside the for loop. I'm going to duplicate so many times now. Okay, so the unit, oh, did I not lowercase? Shouldn't have made a difference. Why is it two S's? Liter. Oh, okay. If it already. Oh, I'm dumb. Why am I trying to add the S? I don't need to add the S. I need to only add the S to units. They're going to enter the S. Why am I doing that? Init unit dot to lowercase. There we go. That's all I need to do. I need to add the S to my test units. They're going to enter the S. Okay, that should give us liters now. There we go. Liter is a valid unit. Perfect. What have I missed? Christopher, I was in hospital for 6 weeks, mental illness stuff, but now I'm fine again, I guess. You guys, that sucks. I hope you're doing better. Is it stuff like being burnt out from like all the work and the studies and stuff, or? But yeah, I do hope you're feeling better now. Massa, you could make your code smart to understand the international prefixes like milli, micro, kilo. Yeah, I could do that, but it's like, it's such a small project and there's so many other projects I need to finish, so I'm trying to just get like the least done. And also we only have a few units that we need to work on for these tests to pass. It's just gallons to liters, pounds to kilograms, and miles to kilometers. So I thought it's just going to be easier to have a simple array of the most basic prefixes in which way you would write them, and then I'm just going to add an S to all of them in my checks, just, you know, to cover the case of where someone enters liters. Because if you were to add liters without me doing that now, it would just fail. And yeah, that worked, so it's good. I'm happy with it. Got a psychosis again from the time I have to go to hospital because of that. Jeez. Are you feeling better now at least, Christopher? Do you have any plans to like do some projects and stuff? Initially I had a switch statement, and then I was like, why the hell do I have a switch statement? Just have an array of every valid unit that we're testing against. I think I've covered every spelling, right? Gal and gallon, kg, kilogram, kilogram, the other version, the SI version, kilometer, and then the SI kilometer version, km, short form of kilometer, L for liter, LB for pounds. We're going to add the S there for LBS. Liter and liter, the scientific version, MI and mile, and then pound itself, obviously, and then pound, pound. So everything will get an S here as well. So yeah, I think that's all the units, because we only had 6 different types, and I think I've covered them all. Cool, and then the actual conversion is just, and I still need to figure out how I'm going to do fractions, but the conversion should be simple. We need to standardize what it is that we're getting out, So whatever the unit is, no matter how it's spelled, I think I'm just going to use the short form. So I'm going to say, okay, this is now a kilogram. So then when I come into here, I have a switch. So if it's gallons to liters or whatever, then I'll just take the kg and then multiply or divide by, you know, whatever it is that it is. So gallons to liters, you'll get 3.78541 gallons to a liter, or, you know, 0.453592 pounds to a kilogram. Yeah, I want to work on one of my World of Warcraft projects again, but I'm currently in day hospital and it's too exhausting to do any much more after it. But when this is done, I'm going to continue my project. Nice. How long are you going to be in hospital for still? So we need to, so the get return unit is the opposite of the unit. So if you entered kg, you need to get pound, right? Pounds, yeah. So this takes init unit. So we could just have actually a case. No, we actually need to. So we're going to get init unit. Init unit is, where do we get init unit? Init unit is here. Init unit comes from get unit. I don't think that's going to be displayed anyway, is it? And I'm not going to, like, if they said liters, I'm not going to say gallons. You know, I think I'm just going to standardize it for myself. So if they entered 1.2 gal, I'm just going to say 1.2 gallon or gallons if there's more than, you know, one. But that will just be a display thing. So where we return get unit, because all we're doing now is literally returning the exact same unit that they gave us. And that's not going to help. So I think we can standardize it in here. We find a match in our... That's where the switch case is going to come in handy. Let's set up a switch maybe. Based on result, and the case would be, let's do it for liters, right? So L or liter or liters. No, not lit. Am I gonna prefix them now? I'm wondering. Wait, why am I doing it that way? So L liter. But yeah, this is the theory behind it anyway. Let me just like fill it out this way. If it was this, then you would return liter, right? For example. So if it's L, liter, or liters, return just liter. And this wants to return the result. We could just update result, I guess, right? Result equal to liter. And change result to a let. And then we can just break over here. I think that should be fine. And then we return that. So even if you put L, the unit that we're going to get is a liter. Then we won't need the other one. I'm just going to have to figure it out tomorrow, like whatever is the best option. So if I entered L here, I'll probably have to lowercase it as well. Result.to lowercase. There we go. So if I do L here, get unit is liter, even though I said L. And if I do lit, which doesn't exist, we should see lit. But obviously it didn't get changed to anything because it's invalid. Actually, I just realized now, that's the part where we can say the unit is invalid. The default can then be result equal to, and what was the value that it was supposed to be? If my unit of measurement is invalid, returned will be invalid unit. So there we go, perfect. So now lit will return invalid unit, like that. And if it's liter, like that, it will be lowercase to liter. If it's just the L, we've already tested the L, but yeah, you guys get the point. Cool. So now we standardized it. And then based on what the value is, we can just do a check. If it's greater than one whole unit, then we just prefix an S. We have to be careful though, yeah, because liters is just an S, miles is an S, gallons is an S, pounds is an S, kilograms is an S. All of these can be, we can add S to all of them. All of them are the plural form. So yeah, that should be fine. 1 or 2 more weeks, I think. Okay, so time to like actually unwind and relax, right? Blizzard disabled a interface function, and so my census project is literally dead because of it. Going to concentrate on my speedrunning project, that's why. Okay, is there no way that you can like work around that, the interface function? That sucks that they would do that. Maybe if you like approach them, you can get like some kind of API or something to work around. Honestly, when I heard this thing, this project, I was like, this is going to be easy. It's just going to be quick maths, right? You take the formula for the imperial unit to the metric unit, and then you return the value. Like, I honestly thought it was going to be like half an hour, we're done. I did not expect this. But it's easy enough. It's just I'm doing a lot of extra things. Like I'm doing user. I'm basically taking into account what I know the user might do, which is slowing me down, but I feel it's a good practice to have. And I know we can add that on later on once things are actually working, but I mean, if you can do it all at once, might as well, right? I don't want to come back and then have to change my code later because like, adding this is now going to break that. I'd rather just have it all working at one go, and that's what we have. So we can now successfully extract the unit type. Tomorrow I'm just going to have to figure out if I still want to do a switch statement here, even though there's only 6 types. I'll figure out if I want to rather have an array and then maybe map that array and filter and return a value, or do the switch case, whichever happens to be easiest at the time. And then, yeah, we should have the units. We have the values already. The values are perfect. And then all we're going to have to do tomorrow is do the actual conversions, which is going to be simple enough. It's just maths. The values are right here. And then the string is literally just putting everything together. So like x of this equal to y of that, and there you go, done. The only thing that I'm worried about is how I'm going to handle the fractions, because you're supposed to be able to do like one quarter of a liter like that, and it's supposed to work. But you can see the regex wants to get a 4 because it's based on. Actually, I just realized something. If there's a forward slash, we could just convert it into a decimal point. No, wait, no, never mind. What was I thinking? A quarter. So we would have to basically detect. There has to be another way around it, but my mind just wants to go 1/4 would be 0.25. I'll have to think about that one tomorrow. That's the only part that I think is going to need some effort right now. Everything else we're pretty much done. So I got to figure out how to do the fractions, and fractions with decimals, and fractions with whole units and decimals. But if we can figure that out, we're good. Because right now it works for like whole numbers and decimals. No, it was a very essential function. I think they blocked it because of my project. They don't want other people to know about the actual numbers of active players. And yeah, that makes sense, because then people would know how to counter, and that is actually very true. But it just goes to show that you actually got big enough for them to realize. So congrats to you, Christophers. Savinio, hey, loving your stream. Where are you finding those challenges for the 301 Days of Code? So I'm doing the Free Code Camp curriculum. If you go to Free Code Camp, you can click on the low curriculum tab at the top right. Just sign in, and you'll see like a list of things that you can go through from like start to finish, from basic to advanced, and yeah, you kind of just follow it through. I'm on the information security and quality assurance part, so those are the projects I'm working on now. Currently working on the Metric-Imperial converter, so I've got quite a few things I need to pass. Oh, and hey Christopher, thanks again for the tester one, because like I can use this and it works. I got it set up. So I can just change this to the Metric-Imperial converter, stick mine in here, test, and at least I prevent the sniffing and the XSS attacks. I haven't like got into the rest of this stuff, but tomorrow we'll pass all the tests. I don't have an API route that's responding yet either. Have I heard anything about Virani? Yeah, he's been like, from what I remember, really like swamped with work. There's a lot of things that he's had to be doing, but he's enjoying it. It's challenging but fun, and he's learning things, which is cool. He stops by from time to time. He'll often lurk in the channel, but yeah, he's here. He's doing good. It sounds like it's like a way more work than what he used to do before. Cool. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go have dinner now. That's what I was planning to do. I honestly thought I would have been done by now, but like I said, I underestimated the project. The scope. If it was just simple maths, we'd be done. Like probably 5-10 minutes. But it's not just simple maths. There's like an entire full stack application. And from what I remember, they even had MongoDB, which made no sense. Like I still need to figure out why. Why do we have MongoDB? What are we going to store in the database? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. What would we store in the database? We wouldn't store values to retrieve and then give back, you know what I mean? So it makes no sense why we have MongoDB there, unless that was just like part of the boilerplate and they forgot. Because I see nothing in the requirements that state anything about saving anything anyway, or anything that even alludes to saving data. So I'm just assuming that it was just added there.
Savinio is following the family.
Savinio, hey, thank you. Really appreciate the follow. Welcome to the family. Sounds cool. He's a very smart guy. Yeah, definitely Veroni is. It was cool to hear you again after this long time. Thank you. It's good to see you and hear that you're doing better. I know like a lot of those things can burn you out, and I'm glad to hear that you're taking the time out to do things that will help you and get the help you need. And hopefully you like manage to work on things that won't stress you out. I know how stressful it can be. I've still been, these last few sections on Free Code Camp has been awful. I'm sure you remember. Like the lack of documentation, the lack of explanations. Like the fact that we have all the information here, but there's nothing even here on the project page just shows you. And you want to know the best part, Christopher, is like they say that the app needs to be functionally similar to this. Then you click on the link, right? Check this now. You click on the example and they say it should be functionally similar to this. And when you go there, wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, this is going to be so worth it when it finally loads. Sometime today, please, glitch. My god. Look at this. And that's what you get. You get a directory listing. Where's the app? Where did it go? This is amazing. So you want me to create an app that's functionally similar? Okay, guys, let's go. Let's create a list directory root structure. Okay. I know you wanted an Imperial to metric converter, but that's not what you're getting. You're getting a directory listing of the project files. You see this node module, so we can click there. Oh yeah, you get an entire listing of all of that. Great stuff. And there you go. Project's done, guys. You happy with that? You like that? Look cool? Yeah? And Christopher's, I'm honestly not even bothered at this point to like tag free code camp in this, because they're probably just going to tell me something like you can, submit a fix or whatever. But again, how are you supposed to fix something that you don't even know what's supposed to be there? I don't physically know what's supposed to be there. So I mean, I could tag them and be like, hey, this is down, but they might say it's aware of it. So I'm just at the point of just, yeah, whatever, just found what I needed through someone else's project. Where was it? Here. So I saw this is, I assume, what it has to be like. So you enter this and you get a conversion, and where's the conversion value now? What the hell? Did that stop working now? Maybe I went to sleep. Probably went to sleep. That's actually something to keep in mind. If the app stops working and went to sleep. 2mi then should give you, there you go, 2 miles converts to, yeah. So that's what it should functionally look like. This was working when I was on it, really? So everything's just breaking down. Nice, when I have to do it, nothing works. Looks like misconfigured stuff on glitch aside. Okay. Well, you don't even see anything else. You don't see the JS files or nothing. You just see public and node modules. Where are the rest of the folders? You know what I mean? But I got this, so at least that's fine. I see an example of what it should look like. And it's interesting they do it this way, because it's supposed to be an API, isn't it? From the explanation. So let's actually see if they have this set up correctly, because it's not supposed to really be a front-end thing. API convert input equal to 4 gallons. Okay, they have it working, cool. So they just added the front-end aspect as well. That's nice. They're using enums, I can see, because return unit 1. That's something smart to think of. What happens if I enter 4... What happens if I enter 4 gal with 2 L's? Invalid unit. And gallon? 4 gallon is not invalid. 4 gallons? Really? Gallons is now invalid? So they only accept gal, where I would be able to accept gallons. That's interesting. Do they have 4 kg? And do they have 4 kilograms? They don't. Ha! Okay. See what I mean, Christopher's user experience? But yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to continuing this tomorrow. Would love to figure out why they're using MongoDB, or why it's even a dependency there. They should probably remove these dev dependencies, because like it's not like you can use it inside of glitch. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this. It's gonna be fun. I gotta add a to-do here for me. Where can I do the to-do? To-do handle fractions. Yay, that's gonna be fun. What time do you think you're gonna be online tomorrow? What's the time in Germany? You're either 1 hour ahead or you're the exact same time as me. Yeah, we're the same time. So I'm gonna be on probably from like, safe bet, 1-2 p.m. your time tomorrow. So in the afternoon, and then I'm just gonna go right through till probably 7, 8. I'm trying to like get into the whole afternoon thing again. But yeah, if you get a notification when I go live, then it will tell you. And I think you're in my Discord server, aren't you? So if you become a stream viewer, there's like a command. If you check in one of the channels, then you'll also get a ping if that's your thing, you know, to let you know I've gone online. Try to pass by again at the evening. Okay, cool. It was nice having you, Christopher. Yeah, keep me informed of how things are going, and if there's anything you're working on. It's always cool to hear what people are getting up to. But yeah, to everyone else, thank you for stopping by. Sabvinio, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And everyone else who dropped by their follows. It was so good to have you guys. And I will be hopefully wrapping this up tomorrow. The only thing that's going to take a while, like I said, is the fraction parts. But if we can figure that out, then we should be able to get everything working and be done by tomorrow. So until then, bye for now.